You're listening to the Earth Xperience podcast.
I am Venus, that's my name, and I would say I'm a storyteller at heart. So I love expressing and telling my own experiences, the experiences of the people close to me, my community, especially being a Black woman. That's like a big part of my life. So sharing those stories around those people and the people close to me is a big part of who I am. As well as my interests, I'd say being someone who's absolutely in love with things like comedy, like adventure, seeing the world, learning new languages, traveling, trying new things, living for the plot. That's a big part of who I am too.
Living for the plot. Stretch that out for me. What do you mean?
Some examples. I remember when I was in uni, there was a time where the exams were stressing me out, and I just booked a flight to a different country the next day. Nothing planned. I was like, do you know what? I just need a break. And I went and I spent like 3 days in Spain, and I met some of the most amazing people, had the most amazing food, did random things, like I did a cooking class and I learned how to make paella. And I ended up falling in love with the country. I go there every year now. Yeah, I know. That pause, I'm so sorry, the pause is very misleading. I got in love with the country.
Funny.
But yeah, things like that, like just living for the moment, doing things, experiencing things. I feel like life is there to be experienced. And that's where a lot of like, I'd say inspiration for my writing comes from, like my own experiences and just, again, living for the plot, living for the moment.
So, for those who are listening, I just want to give you a little bit of context. I reached out to Venus because of Fat, Black, and Single. It came through my algorithm, and the algorithm did a good job. And you know what? People have said that same line. So I'm like, am I living in like this little like fake world where like people are thinking the same thing? Because one thing that came up is the algorithm did a good job. I seen it in the comments. I saw that it reminded us of Issa Rae. And when I saw that, I was like, that's what it was. Because when Issa Rae came out, I was like, oh, like she's the person I would hang out with. She's the person that I am, but I don't see that all over. You kind of see like everybody kind of being something that they can fit into, right? But when you're awkward, it's like, I don't fit into anything. I can really fit in wherever I want to. But her comedy style was like my sense of humor. Your comedy style, my sense of humor. But I didn't know until I was like, oh, because even your production, which I said to you earlier, is so great. But it still gives you, because Issa Rae felt like somebody putting together their project, having fun. Like you can still feel that. Like it seems very organic. It feels very like every day. But it still has like this, I don't know what y'all did with that production. I'm so curious. But it feels so like, it doesn't feel like I'm watching something that separates me from the story. Like I feel like I'm just really like inside of the story. What are your thoughts on people comparing your work to Issa Rae? Is that something that you cling to? Do you want to have like your own name? Like how do you respond to like any comparison or feedback from your work?
I mean, I take it as such a huge compliment. Like Issa Rae is one of those people who I look up to, like from what she made with Diaries of an Awkward Black Girl to Insecure. I love her style of work. And it's something that, I aspire to be. I think it's a little bit different, mainly because I feel like we lack a lot of that sort of representation here in the UK. I don't consider myself the next Issa Rae, but I would definitely aspire or want to aspire to be someone like her, or for other writers or for other filmmakers and TV makers here in the UK.
I want to share a quote with you because I was like being weird in the comments, not like leaving a comment. I'm like, What are people saying?
Mhm.
And so one of the things that stood out to me, it was like when you scroll through all of the comments, honestly, people are proud of you. People are excited about it. There are people who say, I naturally don't think my algorithm would send me here, but I'm here. There was one comment, and I know we don't want to focus on the negative, but I want to see how you respond to this and what your thoughts were if you ever seen this one. So I'm going to read it out to the guests, and I just want to get your feedback and how you would even respond to this, like in your everyday life or like just even now. So it says, this was so bad, it was painful to even watch properly. I don't think acting is their forte. Also, why can't it just be about three friends instead of having a white guy be the focal point of the show? Shaking my head with the emoji with the rolling eyes. What in the world?
Oh gosh.
Interested because I don't see anything bad when that one comes out. I was just like, why are you here?
I mean, each to their own. I think, again, just going back to experience, like where I went to study for university, where I like grew up, I was most of the time the only black girl in a lot of spaces, and a lot of people that were in my every day were people who are majority white. So just drawing back to the show, there's supposed to be a lot of white people there. It's supposed to be relationships with white people, mainly because the university that they're going to, that's the majority. Like that in the UK, a lot of universities, black people are the minority. I think there's like less than 2% at every university, which is insane, but that tends to be the number. So I definitely hear it. I feel like if it was a story where it could be set in a space where there were that potential to have more of a focal point on that, I would love that. And to be fair, don't get me wrong, I'm writing other stuff. Like this isn't the only thing that I'm focused on. Like, come on. Yeah, but I hear it, and I guess it's just down to taste. Like, I
Yeah.
guess it's just down to what people prefer.
Yeah, I've been learning in my journey that there are going to be people who look at something way differently than I do. And I've framed my life of looking at everything. I can find the good in almost everything. And that's probably because I'm not around things that are so negative. I'm pretty sure there's a chance for me to find something negative and bad or something. But I think when it comes down to art and storytelling, I just have a little bit of sensitive spot because art is art. Like if you don't like it, you just move on. But I also have learned that there's something that we can take from people even expressing that. Like, why did they feel like they had to say that? Like, what did that response mean to them more than it actually meant to your work is something that I try to cultivate and with my community is like, yeah, we might get upset or mad about something we don't like anything, but why? Like you chose to pick out these particular words, maybe because it's a sensitive spot for you, maybe because you wanted to, like you mentioned, like Black love might be more important, like we're centered everything around white, but the other narrative is that like this is most of this a true story? Is it mostly centered around your story? Like what would be the percentage of this being like your actual story versus like a percentage of like you kind of added some things?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like the main basis of the show is completely fiction. I did not end up living with to match like that did not. Um, but a lot of the things that happen to the characters and a lot of the things that they go through were things that me and my friends had to overcome. Like some of my friends were international students and they had to figure out how to stay in the country because as soon as that student visa's up, they end up having to go all the way back to places like Taiwan or places like the Congo where there aren't many opportunities in the spaces that or the industries that they want. Or even when it comes to like dating and love lives, like a lot of us were very, very like, I guess, immature when we started university. And it's like that journey of exploring and finding out who you are, especially in a romantic sense, like what that's like. And that's kind of what the whole show is about, just exploring and growing up together, and becoming more of, I guess, the person that the characters want to be. So there's a lot of, I see myself in all of the characters in a way, but I'd say it's based off a lot of people. Maybe the percentage is like I don't know, like like a good 40%. Anything that's a bit wild and wacky, maybe not so much.
I think in what I was going to share is that sometimes it is that that's just a story, even though it's not the story that we may want or we imagine. It just is story. Like
Yeah.
we mentioned, Black love. It's like Black love is probably what some people will want, and but their actual experience is that they have been around people where it's majority white. Like I'm usually
Yeah.
the only Black girl in certain spaces, and it's because some Black people don't even want to be in that space. But I'm always curious. I'm always like, where are all the only Black girls? Like, why don't we all like get together in the only Black girl communities? Because it seems like everyone is telling the story like, I'm usually the only Black girl in these environments. I'm like, why don't we just all get together? Like,
Yeah,
separated. Like, we
exactly.
probably get each other, right?
Hmm.
What I like about your title is that there's simple words: fat, Black, single, right? I love that Black is in the middle. I don't know if it's intentional because, like, you could be fat and single, right? You could be Black and single and not fat, or, you know, just fat and Black and married, right? I want to circle around each of these words and get an idea of, like, what does it mean to you? When you think about fat, I've actually came across one of your reels, and one of your past thoughts was that I used to think that I wouldn't be able to be successful because I was fat. And I was like, oh, you know, it's so interesting how the world works, because I also went down like this rabbit hole of like why we do the things that we do. Like why is it this big deal about people's size and not their character? And some people can make a case for each one. Like maybe it is that you don't take care of yourself and that's what's shown. But then you see people who are so-called like not desired, but they're doing amazing things. So you can't use this objective like, oh, if you weren't fat, you'd be able to do these things. But one, tell me a little bit more about that comment, if you remember, or if you still. I know if I maybe twisted the words.
Yeah.
And what does fat mean to you now, besides what the actual word means, fat? But like,
Yeah.
how do you respond to fat? And like, what is your world around fatness?
Oh, I mean, it's been such a journey because I feel like there was a time where when I was younger, hearing that word, you almost kind of shrink and it's so negative and it's like, well, it used to be a word that I kind of like I really hated, not because I hated the word, but I just hated how it would make me feel and how it would make me feel about myself and my body. And I feel like it's been a journey of like just learning to overcome that, overcome the connotations that I've attached to it. And that's why I love the title. I'm so glad you picked up on the title because that's why I love the title so much because it's like, it's the first thing that you hear. It's not Black, fat, and single. It's not single, Black, and fat. It's like fat, Black, and single. And it's because it's like, for me, being a bigger woman has always been the thing that people are going to see when they first meet me. Like that's never going to change. Appearances are always the first thing that you see. So that's why that had to be the first thing that people see. But then it's like that's not all there is to me. There's like so many things to me. There's my family, my friends, my passions, what I'm interested in, what I'm talented at. Um, and that kind of relates to what the story is about. Like you have this central character who's a plus size woman, and that is, yes, that's what you see initially. Like when she's on the toilet, she's in this massive shower, she's hunched over. I've been there many times. But when you get to know the story more, you learn so much more about her. To be fair, you get to the point by the end of the pilot, you're like, she's so annoying and she's so boy obsessed, but you forget that she's fat. You forget that she's plus size, and that's literally the point. Like,
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Like, I think growing up, I was so obsessed with how people saw me as being a plus size woman that now that I'm in a space where I feel so much more confident about myself, so much more happy about my life, it's like I almost forget that it's an issue, that it ever was an issue. I'm just so much more focused on other things, and I think that's something that people should kind of like look to, or if they are in a similar position where they're not happy about their bodies, like that's something to aspire to be in a place where, yes, you can accept those things about yourself, and then realize that you're so much more than just what you look like. And so, yeah, I think that's means to me.
Was there anything that stood out to you growing up? Like, when did you recognize like fat was an issue? Were you like once smaller and you got bigger? Were you like always like chubby as a child, and then someone said something and it hurt? Like, what are some stories, or what was the first thing that made you realize, oh, there's something so-called off about being the way I look, with my body?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, right, looking back now, I think I was just tall. I was taller than all the kids in my class, and I used to play sports. So I used to play football, and I was in a league where it wasn't professional, it was like academy level, and it was kind of competitive. So a lot of the times during training, there would be like we'd be weighed and we'd do like fitness checks and things like that. And I think being a taller person compared to everyone else in my class or in my team meant that I always I was always heavier than everyone else, or I was always bigger than everyone else. I had like bigger shoulders, and I was just like kind of mounting over these little girls, which to someone being, you know, the same age, I was what, 10 years old at the time, 12 years old. It's almost kind of intimidating to be told that you're bigger than people. And I think that always stuck with me, just knowing that I was bigger than these people. I always wanted to make myself smaller so that I didn't seem as big. Like, I'd always shy away from the camera. I would always like hide myself in clothes because I just didn't want to be like, in people's face, because I already was like that in my appearance. So I think that for me was like the first time when I realized, not that I was fat, but I was just big. And it was nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I was just a tall kid. But I wish someone had told me that it wasn't a bad thing to be bigger than people, that it's good. Even if it's like a big personality, like it's good to embrace that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as you were saying it. You have this masterwork, you have a lot of few talents. And so it's like, it is something big. And it's often that people are just intimidated by the entire package. And in some cases, it's almost like, how dare you show up in this world and even like yourself and love yourself and be what the world says is not ideal. You started to talk about how you don't think that way and you started to do things that you like. Like, what was the transition there? Like, how did you go from consuming these thoughts in the light where like, oh, I'm big, I could find myself, to like, oh, I feel good about myself? Like, what was that shift for you? Do you remember?
Oh, it was, I do. And I couldn't say it was one specific thing. I think it was a journey that took me maybe over the course of 2 years to finally get to a point where, and it's not something, don't get me wrong, it's not something that I can say that I'm completely healed from or I've completely moved on from. There's sometimes where I have to check myself or check my thoughts and be, that's not true. you shouldn't really tap into that thought process. But it's been a journey where, like, I guess reevaluate the way that I would think and how I would speak to myself. That was the main cause of how I felt, especially around the word fat. I think especially, and for context, this was over the course of COVID. So especially during a time where I'm spending a lot of time at home and I wasn't really like moving as much. So I was a lot bigger. I was probably the biggest that I'd ever been in my life. I think I weighed like 130. So I was the biggest that I'd ever been. And it wasn't because like...
Like 130 is your biggest?
130, oh, sorry, not pounds, kg.
Oh, to say, girl.
Yeah, sorry, I forget the metrics are different. I don't know what that would be in pounds. I was kind of doing it to myself. Like, I'd be in bed, I wouldn't move, I'd just eat, I'd order a lot of food. And that's when I sort of realized that I was kind of punishing myself. It wasn't how I wanted to treat my body. Like, I love to move around. I love to, even if it's like to just go on a walk and listen to music, I love to do that. And kind of playing into the narrative that I had to be a big girl. I had to be fat. I had to do that. Like, it wasn't true. Again, saying there's nothing wrong with being fat. I still am a big girl. I still am a big girl. But I treat my body with the respect that it deserves now. I think that's the biggest difference. I'm more aware of what my body needs. I make sure that I'm eating the right food because I know that if I don't, my body's just going to feel sluggish. It's not going to feel the way that it wants to feel. So things like that. I think that journey was like the biggest thing for me. So definitely not like a journey that I'd say, oh, I wanted to be skinny. I wanted to look a certain way for others. Never that. I think it's more just a self-respect thing. The way that you treat yourself is the way that you show up in life. And it's also a way that reflects on how you want other people to treat you. Like if you want people to treat you with the same respect, then you've got to do it first for yourself, always.
That's so good. I love that you use those words paired together, like how you treat yourself, like you didn't want to treat yourself that way. What does it look like to treat yourself when you think about that journey of, it wasn't necessarily that you wanted to be skinny, but do you feel treating yourself well, you would end up being smaller, or do you feel like you can treat yourself well and that you still happen to be big? Like, what does it look like to treat yourself well? And are you looking for a particular goal, or is it that's just a common denominator, just to be well to myself? And what is that?
Yeah, it's different for everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like there have been times where I've been very on top of like working out and eating right and stress as well. When my stress levels are low, that also helps. And then naturally, my weight just kind of reflects that. And there are times where I might have a lot on my plate. I'm not able to move as much. I might be really busy. I might be really stressed out. And then those kind of factors also kind of have its own factors on how my body is. So I think there's so many different things that happen, and that's just life. I feel like if you have the goal to be skinny, then go ahead. If you're genuinely thinking that that's going to make you happy, then go ahead. But for me, I'm happy as my body is, as long as I'm feeling good and I sleep well and I'm able to move and my health is in order and I don't need to like go to the GP or the hospital. Thank God. Then that's all I need. That's literally all I need.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next keyword, Black. It's so interesting because Black stands out in a lot of the work that I think is highlighted for me, because we have, when we went back to Issa Rae, is awkward Black girl. You have to make it known that it's Black. Even the other day, I was searching for something and I was like, I have to put Black in here in order for it to make sense, because if I just put it as it is, it's not gonna make it. And it's like we kind of have these narratives now, it's just Black, Black, Black. What is your relationship with Black? Like, why does it stand out to you so much? And the reason why I have this question is because when I was growing up, my mom and my dad, they didn't really say anything about color much. It was something that I started to absorb as I got older. And going back to the fact that I did have like mostly like eventually, because I did grow up in like a place where there was a lot of Black people and one person who looked white, but they weren't really white. That was Albano. They stood out. But I never really thought about color until like maybe when I got older, because like it became like a part of the social conversations. And why is it that they're different? But I'm curious about you, like Black. I don't know if you can say the word. Like, what does that word mean to you? Are there any stories around Black, or why do you think you focus on Black? Is it just because the world and the culture does, or does something stand out to you and say, I'm Black and this is why I need to put it in here?
There's so many answers for this, and I wouldn't have time to go through, all of them. I mean, the number one thing for me is just friends and family. Like being Black, it's literally a part of me, and it's something that I'm always trying to find, unveiling more layers to. When I was younger, I thought being Black meant just being talented, mainly because a lot of the people in my school who were Black were very talented. So that was like another level or layer of it meant to be Black to me. And then as I grew up and I was in like university, being Black meant being singled out, mainly because it was just like a reminder of how I was always the only Black woman in the room, or how a lot of my professors didn't always get my sort of stories because it wasn't something that they were used to, things like that. And then now where I'm in a stage of my life where I think, because a lot of my friends and my family are people of color, are Black, a lot of the things that I'm interested in have to do with the Black community. A lot of the businesses and communities and kind of organizations that I support are run by the most amazing, powerful and strong Black women. Being Black to me is just, I don't think I could sum it up in one word, but I would say joy. I don't think there's anything negative. Like I don't think now in this stage of my life I couldn't smile without saying the word black. Like it's just such a happy feeling. But yeah, I would say over the years it's been such a mixed emotions. But I love how you said it as well. You said it so strongly because I feel so strongly about it. Like it's such a strong word and it holds so much. It holds so just in terms of history, in terms of the state of the world and politics and social things. It's such a strong word. So the reason why it had to be in the title was just because I feel like having three protagonists, Black British women, is such a strong statement, and I wanted the audience to feel that, especially because in Black British TV you don't really see it often. You'll have maybe one female lead. And there's so many examples of like shows where, even in the Black British shows that are coming up now, where there's only one or two, but they're most likely side characters. You see their story sometimes, you don't always get to follow along, and it always comes in like snippets. Like you see it in the pilot, then you might see more of it in like episode 3, and then a bit more towards the end of the series, but they're always there to support the main leads. But having three central characters, all Black women with their own stories that you follow out throughout the whole show, I think that makes a statement because they're so important.
I think it's so interesting that you chose the reality because it does feel like that in some cases that the Black character is the support to the main role. And sometimes when I'm even in some of the positions I've been in, it's like you're supporting, someone who has the means to have this big business. You're supporting children who have all this money to be able to hire and outsource work. And that's what I see, like even in older movies when they're kind of telling the stories of old, it's like you see that we've always supporting the main character. But it's interesting because at the same time, it just feels, maybe because I'm Black, it seems like Black women are just main characters everywhere. Like everyone needs a Black woman. Sometimes when I'm looking at some of the content online, like there's a Black woman she was in, and the way that she communicated was just, I love Black women. They just know how to do life. But I remember at a time where I even had disconnected myself a little bit from Black for 2 different cases. One was my identity was about my color, and I wanted it to be about like who I am. I still am in that space, but I moved into understanding that it seems like it's about the color, but it's there's something about like the spirit and I'm just going for Black women right now. It's just like, they do something special.
It really does.
If I go to the store and they say, "Hey, baby," like I feel like, "Hey, baby."
Yeah.
And I don't know why it feels so different.
You feel like you're a part of something, and it makes you feel special. It's such a weird feeling, but it just makes you feel really warm inside. I can't explain it.
When you think about being Black and being in all these spaces that were centered around white people, how did you end up understanding or like highlighting your Blackness? Was it something that you were taught like as a child with your parents, or did you have to like be in those spaces and feel different? How did you realize like I needed to like emphasize, or did you ever have a journey of having to fall in love with Blackness, or was it always?
Yeah, no, I did for sure. I mean, even in high school, there was like times where I would always, I absolutely love them to bits now, but at the time, some of my friends were very like loud and boisterous and like all over the place, and I would just be the one that's just like, guys, come on, put it together, like not too, like let's calm down, and now, I'm so thankful because they've never changed, and now it's to the point where we'll be on the train and we're all laughing together, and I don't care how else we are because it's us having that time together in the moment, enjoying each other's company, having a laugh. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I think when I was younger, again, going back to what I was saying about being big, being a big personality, being a big person, I was always kind of scared of that. So now being able to embrace that with my friends and the people in my life, it just means that when I think about being Black, I'm not scared to be out there. I'm not scared to put myself out there. I'm not scared to be thought of, oh, she's a loud black girl or she's an angry black. No, I'm just being myself, or I'm just being myself without the filter. You know what I mean? So I'd say thank God for those friends, because I think I needed that example to kind of tell me that it's okay to be yourself and not have to worry about what society thought.
Yeah. I was listening to some conversations just about when you mentioned shyness and the angry black woman and just like being boisterous about the relationship that we have and like the main character role. Where it's like you have to be submissive. You like for even for white women, I've heard the narrative that they look at black women who are able to be loud and boisterous. You're not supposed to do that. Or if they have like kind of grown from that perspective, it's like, wow, like you can be that bold because there's something about the main character energy here, whereas you stay quiet and you support our role, but it's not like togetherness. And I'm not saying that about every person who ends up being in the main character role in the earth, but it does seem there's these characters that I probably would put into characters where it's like you're not supposed to be loud. Even in my own spaces, I have been that person that's judgmental. Why are y'all so loud? Or why do you have to do all that? Or why are you so angry? And I remember having to like step back and say, why do you think she is angry?
Yeah.
And why can't she speak up? And I remember going through that journey with myself of like even answering those questions, and gave me such more love and appreciation for just existing and like allowing people to exist no matter if it's not my thing. And also kind of like leaning into those spaces where you kind of, sometimes it looks like it's not your thing because you're uncomfortable speaking up for yourself. And I remember being around a lot of women who were I love being around them because they would speak up, and it wasn't my personality type, but I was like, yeah, you tell them, yes. But I would be in the background like, yeah, but I don't want to do it. I still don't. I found my way to be able to voice it without being. And I did not. I don't say that because it's not you shouldn't. But I was just like, I found my way. But I love that you can do that because it means so much more, or how it's been taught for us to look at it. Right? It's kind of been taught to us to look at it a certain way because it is a rebellion almost. It's an advocacy. I can be whoever I want to be. And when I look at your work and even like social media presence, you just see someone also happy. That's what I wanted to lean into. My perspective was like, yeah, we can be angry black women, but why can't we be happy ones? I want to be like, and I'm using this very lightly just so we can kind of paint the picture. But you know how people they have a saying like the dumb blonde? To some certain degree, like, can I just be happy and black and just enjoy? Like when you mentioned earlier, which I'm curious about, like you were just able to go to another country just like that. That sounds like a happy experience. And that's what I want for all of us,
I love that point of what you said of it being a rebellion, because that's so true. Like fighting the status quo of what black women are supposed to be like and just being you, even if it is someone who's not always comfortable speaking up or someone who wants to be as loud as they want.
What was your childhood like? Did you learn certain things about yourself through your parents, or did they cultivate a sense of self-love? It seems you were able to get through this journey fairly quickly. Did this feel like it was all about you having a self-discovery to get to like loving yourself? And now we got through fat and black, or did you have some support from your family? Did you get snippets or like investments from your family through words that also encourage your journey?
I mean, in terms of being a creative, I guess I had a fortunate childhood because my parents always allowed me to explore whatever creative paths I wanted. There was a time where I took up street dancing, and I don't know. I did that for like a year, and I don't do it now. Thank God. But yeah, like they supported me when I wanted to do that. They supported me when I took up all these different like hobbies and anything that allowed me to express myself. So I am grateful for having that support, for sure. I think in terms of being fat, black and single, I think that's an entirely different like personal journey that I had to go through. To be fair, my little sister definitely did help in that retrospect. She's a lot younger than me. She's 8 years old. So this must have been when I was like in my 19 or just becoming 20. So definitely around that COVID period when I was like struggling a lot. But she was like that force of just being my number one fan. And I think having someone who looks up to you without any reason to, I think she was just giving me the sort of love that nowadays people would have to put in a lot of effort. I was kind of getting just for being me, and that kind of reinforced that narrative of, okay, I can just be myself. People are going to like me. People are going to love me. And that made me realize again how important it is for me to look after myself. And she made me realize it wasn't just for me. I was also doing it for her too, as like being an example for her and wanting to prove to her that she could be however she wanted and she didn't have to worry about, what people thought or what people said. And she, to this day, is the loudest person in the room. Like, she does not stop talking. But then it's like, again, another nice example for me of be loud. Be loud, be the loudest, but be whatever you want to be. Because if that's you, then who am I to argue?
What is the belief system growing up? Do you still hold on to that same belief system? Like, did you go to church or did you follow any religion that impacts your life today?
Yeah. Well, the family household, all Christian, but very specifically growing up, Jehovah Witnesses. So it was I think that kind of impacted the type of person I was because it made me a lot more shy than I am now. I was very quiet when I was like growing up because there was some like rules on how you should behave and how you should come across and be like really polite. So things when I was saying about being really like loud and boisterous in public were like a no to me because that's just not something we would do. So yeah, I'd say yeah, it kind of impacted, but again, I don't think it had that much of an impact. But it did help me with like writing, I guess. I was like really literate when I was really young, so from 4 up, I could read and write, which is insane. But yeah, it kind of helps me with that. So
It's so interesting that you mentioned Jehovah Witnesses because lately, and maybe into last year, I've started to notice that a lot of the celebrities that I've starting to pay attention to ended up being like came from a Jehovah Witness. Like, I'm not sure if you are familiar with like a Sherry Shepherd. She's like a comedian. She kind of reminds us like of Aqua Black Girl. She's a comedian and she has a show. Have you ever heard of the Wendy Williams show?
yeah.
She replaced, instead of Wendy Williams show, is now the Sherry show. Like, that's who she is. And she grew up Jehovah Witness. I just recently, and it's so interesting you said that F4 that you were able to read and write because there is the comedian Williams who talked about his journey of like being able to read so many books, and he also said he was Jehovah Witness. So maybe it's something to it. Maybe. They're all comedians and you write comedic work. So I imagine like, cause I had an impact in like the whole faith journey. So I'm always looking at that through that lens. Like, did your faith impact your life? Like, did it make you more timid? Did it make you these ways? Was it not like a big part of your life? Or was it kind of like, you went and you were the Jehovah Witnesses, but you didn't like do everything Jehovah Witnesses? Or
when I was young, it was a really big part of my life. I think it's kind of difficult because it's like writing for TV isn't always looked upon in the most positive light. So a lot of the things that I aspire to be, they would look down on. It was a big part of me when I was growing up, but now not so much.
Is that still your primary faith, the Jehovah Witness, or is it like just under the umbrella of Christianity?
I'd say yes, as in I still believe in like everything that I was taught and the practice in the religion, but I don't put it into like active participation. So I don't know what that counts, if that counts, but yeah.
Okay, well, the last part is the singleness. And I wanted to get a little bit of understanding about your belief system because there are a lot of belief systems about like being married and single that comes from religious perspectives. And from my understanding, like marriage is something that kind of starts with a faith belief. And it could be that people who aren't in a belief system don't. And it could be just how I've learned it, but it seems like marriages and desire to be married or being told that you have to be married or in a relationship comes from like religious belief systems, or if they're not coming from there, it's strongly held in those environments. When you use the word single, what are your thoughts around singleness in general? Like, are you interested in marriage? Are you okay with singleness, or just talk in that space however you want?
I've always believed that singleness is like a privilege when you're young, because it just means that you're able to fully experience life without having to think about another person. Don't get me wrong, when you are in a relationship, when you are married, think about the other person. But I feel like when you're young, there's so much to do and experience that it's nice to just be able to focus on yourself, especially as someone who thought that they knew themselves when they were young. I'm realizing the more that I grow up, there's so much to learn that I don't know if I'll ever fully be like, this is who I am for definite. This is who I am as a fact. Because I'm still learning what I like. I'm still learning my passions. Like I'm picking new things up every day. So it's nice to do that whilst you're young and single, because it means that you can always change and you don't have to be something to someone and then change. And then they're like, well, I thought you were like this, when you're trying different things. Yeah, great to be single. But then relationships and marriage, my perspective comes from a great respect for relationships and marriage, because it's such a commitment. I am that type of person that only wants to be married once in their life and doesn't like the idea of having a lot of romantic partners. So for me, that like respect of, okay, when it's like you're ready to settle down, then it's time. Okay, now that I'm comfortable with myself and I'm happy and I'm in a good place, I make some good money, then yeah, it's time to look and see who else I could share life with. Which is why I'm always saying, whilst you're young, be single, because that's where the fun is currently.
Yeah, you make a lot of notes about like dating apps, and we see that in Fat Black and Single. What are your relationships with dating apps?
I tried them once, never again. Never again. I have so many. I'd say the most terrifying one, because I was reminded of it recently. So the most terrifying one was someone that I matched with, and it didn't last long. Like the conversation didn't last long. You know, when someone's like really not manipulative, but they like to over controlling. Yeah, he was just very over controlling, very eager. I don't like when people are like lustful and they're like always talking about your body. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
that's very cringe. So yeah, I asked him to delete my number, and I was like, I never want to see you again. And then I went to an escape room. I don't know if you've ever done an escape room. It's
I have.
you usually have like a host, and they will like tell you, okay, these are the rules, this is what you do. And then whilst you're doing the escape room, they'll be on the mic or on the speakers giving you clues and things like that. So we get to the escape room, and it's him. He is the host for my escape room.
Oh my goodness!
I know. And I'm standing there. For full context, I'm with someone else. Like I'm with
Another date, or
yeah. And he's like just staring at me, and I'm like, and I pretend that I don't know he exists. Like I pretend I'm meeting him for the first time. And then it got even more awkward. Like after the escape room, do you guys want to take a picture? And I'm like, well, and the person was like, yeah, we'll take a picture. It's like, okay, cool. Whose phone am I taking? And then I have an iPhone, and the guy that I was with has like an Android. So he's like, oh yeah, we'll use your phone. It has like a better camera. So the old match guy takes my phone, and he's now holding my phone, like going through it to find the camera app. And I'm like, what are you doing? And this is terrifying. Like, guy could literally just do anything with my phone in his hand. It's insane. Luckily, he was professional and just took the photo. So
wait, how did he get the phone? Like you allow him to have it, or he took it?
he just took it. So I imagine this is my phone, and the person was like, oh yeah, we'll just use your phone. It's got a better camera. And he was like, okay, cool. Takes my phone. And I'm just
so did you not? So what is this the shy part that felt?
Yeah, not speaking up. I think part of me was just like, I don't want to address how awkward this is. But then again, part of me was, don't touch my phone.
Yeah.
Because he was really like insane when we were talking, so it was very awkward for me.
Even if it was for a short-lived time, what was your most profound dating experience, or something that you really liked and enjoyed about somebody you met, or even a person that you appreciated, and why in the dating world?
Oh, that's so nice. Something that I really appreciated, I think, was this one time where so the date that we had was like a chess date, and I never played chess. Well, I played chess, but not to the rules. So I never played chess. So this was like a really nice. We just sat like a park, and we were playing with the free chessboard, and it was just like a really simple and calm day. It wasn't anything insane. I was learning how to play a game. We were just kind of talking about life, and we got on really well. So we talked about absolutely everything. We talked about childhood, growing up, different music tastes, what we want to do. He played piano, so he played me some of his music, and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. I could think of a story as I was listening to it. But yeah, it just felt so grounded. I think that was the most like beautiful experience that I've had so far, because I felt just at peace. I think dates shouldn't feel hectic. They should feel quite like,
For sure.
you should feel relaxed. So that was really nice.
I love that you shared this in the way that you did, because going back to even the simple words fat, black, and single, it's like very simple things that have like such a great impact. Like just to be there playing chess, sometimes you don't know how to play well, but just enjoying someone's time and sharing stories is really like what we all hope for. But you'll see that we kind of gravitate to like, tell me the whole story. Like, how did you get hurt, girl?
Yeah.
I want to hear, more of your happiness, or more of your love stories, more of your creative writing. I'm just so happy for you, and I can feel like that when I'm watching it. Go ahead, girl. Like, like this is so good. It's so good. It really felt like, and I say this probably with a limited understanding, but YouTube is like popping for a lot of creators, and sometimes it seems like, oh, this should be on Netflix, or this should be on X, Y, and Z, because they have these big names. But you'll notice, like, I've been going there and I'm watching stuff, and it's like I don't resonate with it because it seems so detached. But when I'm watching this, it's like you get that same crisp production. Girl, your production team, thank you. What it is, it feels like food when you don't know why you're addicted to the food and you keep eating it. Like, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the production. It's like I've seen something like this before, but I think everything married together is something that actually, something that's interesting. That's something that it feels simple. The storyline feels very simple, but that's what makes it something that you want to watch. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm just like sitting here like, this is on YouTube, right? Where like back in the day, it's just like everybody coming up from YouTube is the Aqua Black girls. Even that, it was like her quality to me is like, I didn't even think about the quality of her work because the content was so good. But now it's like the content is good. The relationship with the characters is good. Well done.
Thank you. No, honestly, thank you so much. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, when we did the production and we made it, I knew putting it online. I was okay. This is putting it out online. This is Netflix. This isn't a high production. So I was just hoping that people would enjoy the story and enjoy what we were kind of saying. But now that you're like really highlighting the production, I'm like, okay, maybe we did something.
Very easy to please. But I would see things that look like it's supposed to be wonderful on a Netflix or Hulu, and it's not. So I don't know, like maybe it is a mixture of everything working together so perfectly for you. I was looking at the quality of it, but it was like the storyline was so good, it's so well written. The intro of it, the music, the last song, I was like,
music. Yinka is so amazing. I remember doing the research for the music that I wanted because I wanted to make sure that they were all Black British artists and their songs related to the different moments whenever we used them in the pilot. And I remember coming across Yinka. A friend of mine also makes music, so I was going through her like suggestions, or when you go through the suggested artists on Spotify. and Yinka came up, and I listened to the first song, Boy, and I was like, what? Yeah. And then I listened to Happy, which is the song at the very end, and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it. It's so good. And it hits home.
I was looking at how I wrote it down because the words and the end of it, it says, what will make you happy? So that's what I looked at first. I was like, I find this song. And then in the credits, I see, oh, it's just Happy. And I was just like, I had to find her.
Yeah.
That's the other beautiful thing. It's the music. Music doesn't always hit the same like it did when I was younger. And it's like you have to find the treasures. And this is what happens when you're watching this. It's like not only are you finding a treasure where it's just like, oh, this is reminding me of my childhood. It's reminding me of like an Easter egg feeling. But then the mix is like the British, the UK style. I think I remember trying to watch some of this on Netflix, and I think I just never really felt the connection. But I was like, everything is here, and it's giving me something new, girl. We're onto it. And I appreciate just being your creative self and not being afraid to show your art. That this is what I encourage for anyone. To just like lean into their art. And I love that your parents invested in you being expressive. Look what it birthed. So shout out to your family for allowing you to go dance on the street.
Oh my gosh. That's where it started. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share? Any upcoming projects, or are we still pushing Fat Black and Single? Or any way people can connect with you? Feel free to share that and close out any other thoughts you want to express.
Yeah, I'd say, unfortunately, as much as people have been asking for a whole series, I won't be able to make that myself. So I am pitching it out to production companies and hoping that there's like a team that I could work with to turn it into a web series. I think that would be amazing. But for now, fingers crossed, we'll see how far that goes. And then I'm just still writing. So I'm working on my next project. I'm planning on making a rom-com, like a Blackfish rom-com set in the UK with 2 Black leads. So whoever's like saying about anything about Black love, that'll be in the rom-com.
There we go.
There we go. Very much inspired from like films like Rye Lane, Photograph, things where it's all intergalactic. That's one of my favorites. Like films where it's just taking the characters on a journey and they happen to find out that love is on that journey with them. Ooh. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I will be keeping everyone updated, especially through my like TikTok and my Instagram. I probably won't start production for that until towards the end of the year, but yeah, I'll keep everyone updated. But stay tuned for more updates, and we'll hopefully see how Fat Black and Single does. I love the support as well from everyone, and like that's been helping with sending it out to people and kind of raising awareness and trying to get a bit more of a excitement around making it. So if people could keep sharing and keep commenting, that would be amazing, because it just makes it a lot easier for me to pitch. But other than that, I'm just honestly amazed at how well it's done. I never expected it, so I'm beyond grateful for the support.
What are your handles? Like I did see you dancing for a GoFundMe for.
What is this?
Look at me. Look, you know.
Oh, this is way back when.
Way back when. I was like, okay. Is that, how do people support that? Like, do you still have a GoFundMe for the rest of it, or is it going through a website, or how do people actually support? Is it just the sharing? And make sure you put your handles out there too.
Yeah. So the GoFundMe was for the original pilot. Yeah. I forgot about that. No, honestly, I think the more people are talking about it, the more people are like helping me raise awareness for it. That's like the best thing, because I'm hoping that production companies will be able to see the hype, see that this is what people want to watch, and then realize that it's something that they can help me make. But we'll see, because maybe if that isn't a possibility, then I might go back to crowdfunding or looking for like government funding to help me make the series, because I know it's something that, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have like 3 more episodes written, so it's like It's ready to be made. I just need the funding. So.
I mean, you got that street dancing experience. So.
I know. I might have to raise some funds that way. I might have to, but we'll see. Yeah, it's Venus Ashu on absolutely everything on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So everyone will be able to see pretty much all the updates over on all those platforms. And just by commenting, supporting, sharing, that's like the biggest motivator right now. So yeah.
And is the production, are you pitching to them and then they will accept your application and you're pitching to multiple ones, or are we just making a noise so that they kind of see it and they reach out to you, or how does that generally work?
Mixture of both. I mean, I've been sending out emails and pitching to multiple different production companies that I think kind of like align with what I want to make and who have worked with similar creators and writers like me before. But it would be nice to just kind of create that buzz and then have them come to me. It'd be a lot easier to do it that way, to be fair. So that would be like amazing if we could do it the second option and just kind of create this massive hype and have them come to me. And then it's like, okay, cool. They're excited about making it too. So yeah, either or. I just want to make it for everyone.
I'll be a hype girl. I'm really good at hyping it up. Hyping it up, like sincerely hyping it up, like because I enjoyed it. So I hope that more awkward Black girls and beyond, maybe awkward white men and awkward X person will come in and enjoy the experience. Because I need to see the rest of this. I can't just have it one episode.
Oh, thank you so much. If anything, I will definitely get the original actors for like a table read or something. Yeah. Because I know they absolutely love the show, so they'll be happy to see that.
Oh, yeah. I would like to review that. That's really cool. All right, Venus. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. For everyone listening, please follow Venus on all her platforms and hype it up. Until next time, hold on to you as much as you can. Hold on to your health, your well-being, and your mind. Be mindful. Bye.